So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you again for joining us this afternoon. Unawa, as Nines had said, is a RegTech company. We are a startup ourselves, and today is quite special. If you ask me, because we all need lifelines, and hopefully today we have a very good set of panelists as well. So
all right, so we do have some slides to share
ayan.
regarding, the background of other SMEs. So,
Mhm.
Attorney Mona, you'll go
Oh,
through them
sige.
again.
All right. Sige. So, the team, for those who have been following us for the last few weeks, you know that the team has always been upping the ante every week. They think of something new, some new improvement for the webinars every week. So for this week, they did a research. They learned that well, they used this research, got this from the UNDP website of SMEs from like 18 jurisdictions, I think. And this is a result of the survey from SMEs in different jurisdictions. In what ways, the first question that was asked in that survey and from the results gathered, in what ways has COVID-19 impacted your business? So you can see from the screen that the number one and runaway, I think runaway response is really reduction in customer demand. I think we all feel this, not just feel it, we are part of it. Even our own demands have been reduced. And I talk about this, I like sharing with the team the synergy between my two worlds of SMEs, actually not just two, three worlds pala, SMEs, law, and the renewable energy side. Even our electricity demand have really gone down because of the ECQ. So it has an impact. That fact has an impact. So next slide, please. From the next question, if that is the stimulus, what is the reaction of the SMEs? The first reaction, I think, because it's a you need to cut cost. In other jurisdictions, maybe not for the Philippines. I hope not for the Philippines. The initial reaction is to lay off staff or reduce staff hours. Reduction of staff hours, I think, is natural because there's no. If you cannot operate, then you need to reduce staff hours. Hopefully, it doesn't lead to layoff. We want to minimize that, if not prevent that altogether. But you see also in your screen some things that can amplify that response, which is if there are cancellation of orders from suppliers, there's disruption in the supply chain, then it's a circular or a spin process that can lead to other results. Next slide, please. So the main thing, if you there are that's a pie chart, and there are like almost equal slices there. But I think if we look at the purple and ano ba tong isa, gray and blue, the biggest slices of the pie, if we can just summarize that, the big impact is really disruption of operations or interruption of our operations in different scale. It can be 100% interrupted, or it can be just partially interrupted. But at the end of the day, what does this mean? It means the SMEs or the businesses are not getting the revenues that they have expected or initially projected, or could have been the basis of loans that they have obtained from their lender. So that's the, I think, undeniable effect. That's where we find ourselves in. Therefore, we need help, and we need to talk about where to get that help from and how to get it. So we need to answer the what, the how, and the what and the how today, hopefully from our panel of experts. So sige, Nines, turning it over to you again.
Hello? Hi,
Yes.
can I be heard
Yes.
now? Okay.
Ayan,
Sorry
okay.
po. Third world problems tayo ngayon. So yeah, we do have a very engaging panel today, and we're super fortunate that they were able to block off their time for us. I won't be able to read out their full bios na kasi they're all very accomplished leaders, but I will start by introducing Vince Rapisura. He's a young leader and an advocate of development, and he's been teaching microfinance and social entrepreneurship in Ateneo de Manila and with SEDPI for a number of years na, and to OFWs in so many countries around the world. So later, Vince will talk to us about from his experience, what we can share with SMEs about how to manage your finances and what these available lifelines could be. But moving on first, so then our next panelist is also very, very busy. So Mon Abrea, who's popularly known as the Tax Whiz, is a former revenue officer of the BIR. He's also a founding president of the Center for Strategic Reforms of the Philippines, and he is currently co-chair of the Ease of Doing Business Task Force on Paying Taxes and creator of the Tax Whiz PH mobile app. So later, Mon will be talking to us about how to make our taxes work for us, because they do work for us, and we'd like to weave that into the discussion. And last but not least, we have Mr. Frank Lloyd Gonzaga, who's Vice President for Planning and Advocacy of Small Business Corporation. So for those who aren't aware, SB Corporation is a GOCC, so government-owned and controlled corporation that really offers a wide range of financial services for small and medium enterprises. So this is a really good opportunity to ask Frank about your questions, and he will share with us, these available facilities or programs that SMEs like you can avail yourselves of. So for those who know the drill already, you can also ask your questions, but we will start with a simple kamustahan before we dive into the meaty questions. So to Vince, Mon, and Frank, how do you feel about the new normal that is already upon us?
Yeah. Sir Frank muna siguro.
I find it harder to really work from home, no? Much as parang may kulang. I miss the commute from Quezon City to Makati. So you miss the commute? Yeah, I miss the commute. It may be weird, no? But kasi I use a motorcycle. So but siguro commuting with a motorcycle kasi it makes it fun to commute. So yun.
Okay. My sense of adventure. Okay, thank you. We also want to acknowledge our co-panelists. Co-moderator siya ngayon. She was one of our Suki panelists, and we know you all love her. So Reese Fernandez Ruiz is president of Restaurants, and she's also Unawa's very own CFO. So she helps keep our finances in check. So right now, co-moderator siya. So
hi, Reese.
Hello. Hi.
Where are you, Reese?
Nice to meet you. Hello. Hair ko.
Ay, sorry.
Mga familiar faces. Okay, so sige, how about you, Vince? Kamusta? And how do you feel about this new normal?
Yeah, ang nakakatuwa nga actually with this pandemic, nag-work from home tayo, pero parang mas marami yung work dito ngayon na work from home kaysa pag sa office, no? Kasi everybody expects you to be there kapag work from home. So yun yung realization namin, and we can't really wait na sana mag-ease up na talaga itong lockdown natin.
Oo, totoo yan. Iba yung challenge naman of working from home. And Mon, ikaw, busy ka. How do you feel?
Reese.
Yes, I'm here.
Si James nasa kabilang webinar, lipat ka na.
Ay, talaga?
Yes. And anyway, actually, it's not normal. It's mahirap. Parang 24/7 yung work. Everyone is calling. Everyone is tama si Vince. Actually, ngayon pa lang ulit kami ni Vince nag-online, pero feeling ko we are active with different ongoing sessions, calls, and everything. Sobra. In fact, yung mga hindi ko nakakausap dati, sobrang tawag sila ng tawag ngayon, emails, non-stop po. Kaya po yung phone ko, lagi pong naka-charge.
Oo nga.
Tama yan.
Thank you, Mon. Magpa-plug lang po kami. So since we talked about, the work getting really heavy, we have, last week we had a webinar on remote work management. So please watch the replay. You'll get a lot of really good insights about how to manage working from home, especially ngayon, very stressful times. Ayan, so we will dive in already. Game na ba kayo? Our first question goes to Vince. So, di ba, we've never really experienced a pandemic before. So, ibang level yung crisis ngayon. But based on your experience teaching and coaching other OFWs and SMEs, in Filipino communities around the country, what insights can you share about how they can manage their finances at this point, and where can they get the assistance that they need to stay afloat?
Yes. Okay. So first, yung sa experience ko, no, meron kaming operation sa Mindanao, and in Mindanao, GCQ na sila, so nag-ease up na, and it kind of provides a picture kung ano yung may expect natin, no. So we've been conducting yung mga status ng mga micro enterprises that we serve, and a lot of them have really closed down. Tapos I was kind of expecting na with the GCQ, marami yung mga magbubukas ng kanilang businesses. Pero unfortunately, may mga mangilan-ilan lang na nagbukas, tapos yung demand pa from the customers ay wala. So medyo may may kaba na nakikita. Pero in terms of managing the how to restart your SME or your business after this ECQ, I think ang realization ko with that experience is to go slow, and you really have to accept the slow pace of recovery. So baka sa panaginip kasi natin, kapag ma-lift yung maging GCQ tayo, magba-back to normal, no? Hindi talaga siya mukhang medyo matatagalan, no? Yun nga yung nakikita natin. And that's where emergency savings really becomes very, very important, dahil yung tinuturo namin talaga is for SMEs and even in personal finance, no, talagang dapat meron kang reserbang pera. And mukhang mahaba-haba dapat yung PC mo if you want to keep all of your employees, and you really have to prioritize ano yung mga kailangan mong gastusan, no? So i-preserve mo yung cash mo, and you really have to stretch your emergency savings and even your fund for your business. Tapos, if you have loans, I think now is the best time to do loan restructuring, no? Lalong-lalo na if you have lines, if you have existing loans from banks, they're very, very accommodating right now kasi alam naman lahat, natamaan lahat. So, ang mga bangko, if you ask them if you tell them what you need and you become transparent with them, I think tutulungan ka nila kasi if you go down, their loan also goes down with you. So I don't think that's what they want to happen. So you have to be very transparent to them, and then work out a plan on how you will be able to restructure your loan so you can still keep your business afloat after when we finally hit GCQ or lift the lockdown. Tapos there's actually temptation to access loans, no, for to restart your business. Marami, I think may mga programs na pwede tayong mag-refinance, pero I would like to caution about using debt to restart your business. So ako ngayon, actually, we are promoting risk sharing and profit sharing. So rather than looking for loans to restart your business, why don't you look for investors who would share the risk and the profit with you? Kasi yung loans kasi, what we've found out is that patong-patong yung interest at tumatakbo siya, no, nag-accrue pa rin. Ito nga yung isa sa mga challenge namin sa Bayanihan Act, yung pagpapatong ng interest during the lockdown period, because at the end of the day, ang magbabayad niyan yung kumpanya at i-charge mo sa public, no? So I think it's better, if you really want to be on the safer side, better to focus on mobilizing investors rather than seeking debt to restart and reboot. Tapos last na lang, no, to adapt to the new normal, kami ang ginawa namin sa company namin is to use this time to retool and to try to project what's going to happen, and then ngayon pa lang ay paghandaan na namin ano yung mga kailangan namin gawin, so that when the GCQ comes, at least alam na namin agad, no, we hit the ground running, hindi yung doon pa lang kami magpe-prepare. Pero of course, we also have to recognize the limitations of our staff. Marami talaga, mataas ang anxiety level, kasi ang taas-taas talaga ng uncertainty. So kailangan balansahin talaga yung mga bagay na yun.
Actually, very good po, no? 3 tips. Yes, Reese. Yes, I have a question lang for Sir Vince. Matanggal yung
Aha.
Sir. No? Teacher ko kasi si Sir Vince nung kabataan namin.
Walang ganyanan, Riz.
Although you look young naman, Sir eh. So, carry lang. Okay lang yan. Badge of honor.
Parang magkaedad lang kayo.
Diba?
Yeah, wow. Thank you.
Then may question na sa panelist na Sir Vince na eh. So mukhang maraming estudyante si Sir
Oo
Vince.
nga, oo. So, Sir
Totoo ba
Vince,
yan?
Oo, feeling ko. Sir Vince, you mentioned instead of loans, and I think loans for other people can still be, wala na kasi ibang option, wala kasi silang mahanap na investors. Where do you usually find these investors? Because in time of pandemic, marami nagsasave ng pera. So where do we find investors who are willing to take the risk with us?
Okay, so first would be your inner circle, no? So you start with your family and friends, okay? So that's the first one. The second one, very popular ngayon, mga crowdfunding. So you can actually, your project, your product, ask for crowdfunding to finance that. So, kasi kapag crowdfunding, usually mas may leeway ka to ask for risk sharing. Kapag kasi creditor-debtor relationship, yung creditor talaga ang magdidikta ng terms and conditions. Tapos ang typical kasi for entrepreneurs, especially here in the Philippines, ang gusto ng entrepreneurs is to have control. At kaya gusto nila ng utang, no? Kasi para hindi makialam yung creditor. So if kung magagawa mo na so the terms and conditions that you have to ask your investors when they come in is that you still have control over your business. I think yun yung maraming takot doon eh. And sa totoo lang, if you have a very good business plan and you have a very good product and service and the need is there, no? Yung need and wants na ina-address mo ay very pronounced, madali maka-raise ng funds. Ikaw hahabulin ng pera, yun yung lagi kong sinasabi. So kung at the end of this pandemic, manghihingi ka ng investor, manghihingi ka ng utang at tinatakbuhan ka, maka-assign yun na before the pandemic, baka may problema na talaga yung business mo.
Maganda yun, hahabulin tayo ng pera. Sana yan ang mangyari sa atin after dito. Sige.
Now we wanted to ask any reactions from Frank or Mon, or kasi our next question was going to be for Mon naman na 'di ba? So right now nasa kalagitnaan na rin tayo ng tax season. So taxes are on people's minds. But instead of thinking of, 'di ba, nako, tax season na naman, nakakatakot siya. How can we actually make our taxes work for us? Or meron ka bang maidadagdag dun sa iba pang suggestions that Vince mentioned earlier?
Well, since yung BIR naman, di ka talaga bibigyan ng pera, no? So might as well make sure that you maximize whatever possible deductible expenses. Or halimbawa, marami sa ating mga kababayan, even the small entrepreneurs, mga nag-donate during this pandemic, might as well use it as a deductible expense. And that's where I would like to make a reminder na you have to document it, kahit pa selfie yan or acknowledgement receipt. Try to document it so that 60 days after the lifting of the ECQ, you can claim it as a deductible expense at BIR. Now, for those naman na medyo naapektuhan yung negosyo, nasira yung mga paninda, nasira yung mga ingredients, or any other form of losses, or ang tawag dito, hindi na nakakolekta, mga bad debts, etc. Those are also deductible expenses. And again, it goes back dun sa documentation. Siguro ito lang yung gusto kong i-relay sa lahat ng ating mga viewers and those who will be able to watch this. Do not fear BIR. Face your fear, but not necessarily BIR. Look for the documents. Because as long as you have the documents, you have nothing to fear. Hindi ka pwedeng takutin ng BIR kapag ka dokumentado lahat ng kiniklaim mo. So whether it's an income or expense, make sure it's documented. So that leads me to my point. During this lockdown, kesa sa ma-stress ka, ma-anxious ka, o matakot ka sa mga babayaran mo sa BIR, do your homework now. Gather the documents, tignan mo ano yung hindi mo nabayaran last year, tignan mo kung ano yung babayaran mo. And we're doing this even to our celebrity ambassadors. So isa-isa na namin silang kinakausap.
Pakibanggit.
Like the other day, si Daniel Padilla, we even advised him na there is an installment method na kapag ka nag-file tayo sa June 14, which is the deadline ng 2019 annual income tax return, and FYI, sabay din ang deadline ng first quarter ng 2020. So, pwede po ba yung mga nakikinig, kunin ng kalendaryo, pagbibilugan nyo na po yung mga deadline, dahil isa lang po ang marirealize nyo, mag-o-overlap ang maraming deadline. Pero instead na mag-panic kayo, plan it now. Plan it ahead. So, tulad ng sinabi ko, even yung mga artista, they have huge money and savings. There are ways to defer payment. So, may installment, may way to reduce your taxes. Gawin nyo na po ngayon. Hindi kung kailan deadline or magka-penalty pa po tayo. So, again, it's not just being resilient, but we have to be more proactive. Huwag naman antayin natin, binubugbog na tayo, hinahabol na tayo ni BIR. Honestly, the reason why we get harassed, because we allow BIR to get into our heads. Dapat tayo yung ahead on top of things because it's our business. If you don't want that, close your business. Seriously. You have to be on top of it. Negosyo mo yan eh. Ikaw ang dapat nakakaalam ng ins and outs, ng cash flow mo. Never let BIR dictate. Binigyan ka ng malaking assessment. You know, maraming nag-message sa amin if the BIR is texting them during this pandemic or lockdown. Ignore them. Nakasuspend po ang BIR audit. It will be lifted 60 days after the lifting of ECQ. So we have a lot of
60
time.
days. Okay,
60
after the
days,
lifting of ECQ.
After
Okay.
the lifting. Pero nice, binawin ko lang ha, ang RR11, ang definition niya ng lockdown or quarantine, hindi enhanced. Kung hindi any form of lockdown. So
kahit GCQ.
Kahit GCQ yan, suspended pa rin. It's the quarantine. As long as there's a quarantine, suspended po ang audit. So you don't have to worry about it, but you should be preparing now. So time is not on our side, but it's something that we can manage right now. So ang dami po sa atin dyan. Of course, siyempre kami ni Riz isa dyan, no? Mga nanonood ng Korean drama. Okay lang yan. But make sure we have a plan that we are accomplishing something every day. Hindi yung pagdating nung last day ng lockdown, saka tayo matataranta. Ay, wala pala akong pera. Ay, mangungutang ako. Ay, dayain na lang natin, wag na nating i-declare. Again, there's a huge responsibility in doing business. And rather than waiting for the government to catch us or to help us, let's help ourselves. And this one is a good one. This session, education, informing yourself. There are a lot of ways to reduce your taxes, but more importantly, make sure you know what to declare. So that whatever you will be paying is enough lang, hindi sobra, hindi kulang. Okay? So gather all the documents. Lista na po natin. Ayan, naka-flash po sa screen nyo. Yan lang pong 5 regulation na yan ang dapat nyo basahin. Lahat ng nirelease ni BIR, ignore nyo na po. Kasi po nag-supersede na. So nagpatong-patong na rin, kaka-extend. So ang pinaka-latest po yung RR11. Lahat ng bagong deadlines nandyan po. Whether VAT, income tax, withholding tax. Again, mark your calendar, prepare. Do not scare or do not threaten yourself. This is something you can manage. Donation. Kahit po yung mga paninda nyo, dinonate nyo sa mga frontliners, document it, claim it. Hindi po nakakaya yun. It's our right to claim those deductible expenses. Now, under this RR9-2020, kahit po kanino, tax exempt na po siya. Kasi dati limited na dapat nag-donate ka sa government or sa NGO or sa simbahan lang.
Dapat
Under this
accredited.
RR, ngayon po hindi na. Under RR-2020, kahit sa akin po, makiklaim niyo po yun. Pwede po kayo mag-donate sa akin. So, pwede pong i-claim yan. Provided, ma-document natin. Ipareceive mo sa akin, Vince, pag nag-donate ka sa akin, ha? Kung magta-transfer ka na mamaya, kailangan may email notification from me. Otherwise, wala kang substantiation kung questioning ka ni BIR. Okay?
So there, pag nag-donate ka sa akin. Pero I like the lifelines kasi so far that we've been discussing, no, with Sir Vince. It's about lifelines from the private sector, the financing that we can get, and from Mon naman, it's also the lifeline that we're actually very afraid of, which is usually BIR. Kasi feeling natin hindi lifeline yun eh. Feeling natin death sentence siya. Pero it's good to know and plan ahead.
Riz, in fairness naman, ang ating small business wage subsidy, si BIR at si SSS ang nagpa-facilitate. So yung mga frustrated po dyan na hindi pa nakakatanggap, I was able to verify, i-expand po nila yon. Prioritize lang po yung mga pre-qualified. So yung mga na-turn down po, na broken-hearted, don't give up. Appeal, apply again. Huwag po mag-give up. Bakit? Kasi po, nasa database kayo. Hindi kayo pwedeng i-ignore ni BIR ngayon. In fact, ang proposal ko, dapat kahit large taxpayer, ibig sabihin pag large yung company mo, hindi mo kailangan ng subsidy. Yung company mo yung mayaman, hindi man ikaw. So dapat lahat, walang discrimination. Diba?
Actually, magandang magandang segue to kasi we were saying kanina na, 'di ba, the more we also help our, the government by paying taxes, by documenting everything. These taxes are actually the ones that are able to provide the assistance and the subsidies when we need it. So, magandang reminder din yun sa ating lahat. Tapos sa segue tayo kay Frank naman na so we talked about how we manage our finances or can also get investors from our circle. We've talked about, our taxes working for us or at least the tax system working for us. But from the purview naman of SEDPI Corp, what is available to SMEs? Kasi baka marami sa mga SME audience natin yun. This might also be the first time that they're just hearing about a lot of these programs.
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon to everyone and to all those who are watching right now. No? I was expecting actually si Sir Celso to attend sa Philippine Guarantee Corporation. Unfortunately, hindi ata siya naka-attend, making me, I think, the oldest here amongst the panelists and the moderators.
Hindi halata.
But anyway, okay, so siguro let me just give you some few tips before I go to the meat of whatever it is that I'll be presenting. I was asked kanina, sabi sa akin, what should we be doing? And I think that was also what Vince was answering also, and partly Mon, what should we be doing if I'm a businessman right now? Ano ba dapat ang ginagawa ko? I've listed down several things. Number one, attend webinars, like Unawa, you should attend. And you should try to add more to your knowledge, increase your learning. There are currently a lot of organizations that are offering these free webinars. Like, if I were to mention, a Bounce Back is also good.
Yes.
They might be able to give you fresh insights, fresh insights that you may be able to use sooner or later, or sooner than later, Second, if you're a businessman, if you're an MSME, or micro and small enterprise, you may want to look at your business. Imagine it running during the next normal. What challenges do you see? What challenges do you foresee? And try imagining what adjustments do you have to make. So basically, parang sinasabi mo, given the physical distancing that's required, what will be what are the adjustments that I have to come to prepare for? Number three, prepare yourselves. Either number one, you prepare yourselves by being healthy. Make sure that you're healthy. Know that health is more important than anything. So you have to boost your immune system. There's no known cure, no known vaccine for COVID-19. And the only thing that we can defend our body, or rather use to defend ourselves, from the COVID-19 is really to boost our immune system. And also by preparing, you can see also, kailangan ko bang umutang? Do I need to borrow money? Maybe this is now the time to prepare your documents. So ipunin mo na your past performance, your permits, you take it out from wherever you're hiding them from, and then slowly collate them, and then prepare. Look at how much do you really need to borrow, okay? And so that after ECQ, again, you have to stay healthy after the ECQ. Mas maganda healthy ka, so you can take more customers, you can take advantage of the next normal, and then follow the guidelines recommended by the health experts. So you have to make sure that you disinfect your shop or whatever you're doing, and keep on learning. You'd want to keep a diary. You may want to keep a diary of what's happening. So day one, eto nangyari sa akin. I may have 2 or 3 customers. What adjustments do I need to make? So ganun, And definitely take note that you will be encountering new things that you haven't encountered before. This is the next normal. We're preparing after a pandemic that no world has ever experienced. No, but having said all these, no, we'd like to inform you that we do have a business. We do have a program for micro and small enterprises, which we call as the CARES, no, COVID-19 Assistance to Restart Enterprises. So kung nandun ka sa preparing yourself doon sa first part, no, of what I've said, you're looking at magkano ba kailangan kong utangin. And then you're looking for kanino ba ako pwedeng mangutang. Kami yon, pwede kayong mangutang sa amin. The national government has allotted, or rather the Small Business Corporation has allotted 1 billion Enterprise Rehabilitation Fund for those affected by the COVID-19. So the program objectives to save employment, to encourage innovation. Ito yung if you want to go to digital, no, sumapalitan na yung like what Miss Mons, Attorney Mons mentioned a while ago, that those who are in the retail and the restaurants have been affected. So you may want to rethink, no? Should I go digital? Should I now transform my business to something that will be present online? So those are the things that you have to consider. And then after you've considered that, how much you need to borrow. Okay, so now here's our program. But you'll find more, no? You'll find more about our program through our website. That's at www.sbgfc.org.ph. That's Sierra Bravo Golf Foxtrot Charlie.org.ph. Okay, so in very, very general terms, no, what is this loan? Well, if you are a micro enterprise, meaning if your capitalization is not exceeding 3 million, you can borrow as much as 200,000. It may not be much, but it might help you tide over, no, until things get back to somehow almost the former normal. Okay. But if you're a small enterprise, meaning your capitalization is not exceeding 15 million pesos, you can borrow as much as 500,000. What's good about this amount is that this is payable from somewhere between 12 months to 24 months. Okay, kanina Vince was mentioning not to borrow, no, but instead solicit from investors because of the interest. But what's good about this program is that you're given a grace period of not to exceed 6 months, no? So may 6 months ka to prepare. So if you're borrowing for 12 months loan term, that the total loan term will be 18 months. 6 months ka munang hindi magbabayad. On the 7th month, then you'll pay your amortization at 0.5% per month, no? And to top it all off, no? Wala kayong collateral na kailangan for this. You don't need to mortgage anything. So what are the purposes for us to lend this, no? Anong purpose for you borrowing? It's either that you are going to restock your inventory. So yung mga perishable nyo, gustong palitan, then you need more capital. So okay, you borrow from us. Or if you think, say for example, you need more working capital. Say for example, you're going digital and you'll probably need to hire someone who's really good in digital commerce or e-commerce, no? And then you can probably borrow also from us. Or worst is that may utang ka na binabayaran and you need to update those loans. You can also borrow from us to update those loans. So loan updating. So tama, no? There are lifelines that you can call, and then parang who wants to be a millionaire, you use the lifeline, and this is one of the lifelines that the government can offer. Of course, and no, we are not the only one lending. Please bear in mind that we're not the only ones lending. You can go to Land Bank, you can probably go to DBP, and to other private banks. But there is a lot of really a big demand for lending right now. We're just one. And we'll be happy if we get you on board, no? Yun nga lang, if you're gonna ask me, gaano ba to katagal? Gaano ba katagal ang processing? Let me just answer it right now, no? Supposing that you're gonna ask me that. The processing time is 7 days. From loan application or submission of complete loan documents to loan release. But that is only if you're borrowing less than 50,000. So the more and the higher amount you borrow, of course, we do have to also conduct more and more stringent due diligence, no? We're taking care of taxpayers' money, and we have to make sure that we're good stewards of public funds. No? Hindi naman pwedeng pautang namin to basta-basta and kahit kanino, and will be, of course, accused with corruption, and it's not good. We're especially practically not doing our jobs if that is the case. So our application forms are available on our website. You can download it. And then you can already prepare because the list is also there. And just like what's on your screen also right now. The list is there. The application is there. All you need to do is prepare them. We are not encouraging you to come to our offices right now because we should be observing still physical distancing, and there's still ECQ. But soon as it is lifted and soon as you're allowed to go out of your house and apply for a loan, then by all means, come to our office and we will assist you in any way that we can. So there.
Wow. Attorney Mona, I think you wanted to ask a follow-up. Very good information. Thank you so much for sharing that, Frank.
So, Rich, iniisip ko nga si Sir Frank magiging best friend ng maraming MSMEs in the week because this is really the kind of assistance that is needed, and sobrang attractive, sir, yung minention mo 7 days processing time, and hopefully we can that processing period can be adapted also to the bigger amounts if ever. What I'm wondering though is two things. Maybe one, I don't know if it's only my internet connection that got disrupted. Parang I didn't catch. If they want to apply now, they cannot apply yet. Kasi or is there online application that can be done?
We're all having all these conversations about being digitally empowered and everything, and it's really sad that we were in the process of coming up with an online application process, but unfortunately we're overtaken by events. Etong COVID, napakabilis, no? Parang bagong gising ka pa lang ng isang umaga, wala na, everything's locked down, and I wasn't even able to get some of my stuff from my office because automatically locked down na. So unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, we cannot still accept applications because we are not encouraging you to go out of your house because there's ECQ
and cannot be processed yet online, I suppose.
But there was no one stopping you to email to us your applications. You, by all means, if you'd want to email your applications to us, take a picture, scan your documents, send it to us, by all means, we will be able to accommodate that. Okay. But we cannot promise you anything, no. We cannot promise you that we will be already processing it kasi kami rin naman limited also. Our staff, we're also working from home. We won't have access to all our tools and a lot of other things, no. But we will accept it. We will acknowledge that we received it, and we will let you know and update you soon as we're usually ang ginagawa namin ngayon, no, since we're also receiving already some applications, we already refer them to the right processing centers, no, kasi we're also geographically located across the entire Philippines. So we have in Mindanao, we have in Visayas, Southern Luzon, Northern Luzon, and Central Luzon. We also have our headquarters in Makati. So we're also slowly doing kasi alam naman namin na pagdating dito, and we're only gonna open this by or on the 16th or 15th, no, matatabunan din kami. So we're also preparing.
Yeah. That's something to look forward to. So maganda nga yung tips na mula dun sa tips ni Mon, use the ECQ period to get your documents in order, di ba?
Yes.
Tax documents, financial documents, lahat ng backlog. Ito na yung oras para sa backlog. Binigyan tayo ng pagkakataon na to attend to these things.
Pag-house cleaning, literally.
Yes. And Sir Frank,
may tanong ako. Pwede ba magtanong?
Yes. Of course.
Yes. Kasi we have a line with Land Bank, and what I observed is yung mga may existing na lines na with the banks and with I'm assuming with SBC also, no, mas napaprioritize siya than the new applications. And I think that's also what's causing the problem sa US, kasi yung mga walang lines at hindi nasa-serve ng mga banks ay pushback, no, sa linya. So how is it with the SBC?
Actually, tama ka. It's by practice. A lot of creditors or a lot of lending institutions, for that matter, are doing that. Kasi may history na eh. Dalawang bagay lang to in very layman's terms, no. Ang pagpapautang is that you have to watch out for two things. Number one, you have to know that that person that you're lending to is legit. No, ano ba to? Totoong tao ba to? Totoong enterprise ba to? Hindi ba to bogus or anything, no? And second, so doon sa number one na yan, that's where you do your checks. May store ba yan? May physical store ba? Can I verify the proof of billing address that he provided? Ganyan ba talaga yan? Okay? And then the second will be, of course, related to already, ano ba yung naging history mo prior to now that you're borrowing, no? Compared to how much. So ito na yung risk assessment. So that's very very general and in very layman's term on how the credit is working, no? So as far as the government is concerned, medyo mas mahigpit ang government eh. Kasi in the sense that you're being audited by COA, you're being audited by the GCG and everything. So you have to be performing, I think, more than your counterpart in the private sector. Kasi pera ng taong bayan ang pinapautang mo, hindi mo naman pera to eh. So that's where you draw the line, no? Kaya kung minsan nagtatagal yung dokumento dahil we try to as much as possible accommodate that application. Hindi mo kasi pwedeng i-turn down basta-basta eh. Hindi katulad ng private sector, walang utang sa'yo, no? But here with the government is that you have a social responsibility to also lend. Yun yung ano eh, na maski na eto pangit na talaga to, no? Hindi ko talaga to pwedeng pautangin unless siguro that there's fraud. But if there's kumbaga there's an iota of doubt na baka naman pwedeng magbayad to, of course you do. Dapat suportahan mo yan dahil gustong mangutang yan para mapaunlad yung sarili niya and yung kanya immediate, di ba?
Yeah. And I think this brings me to a point where yung importance na talagang dapat meron ka ng lines at mayroon ka ng relationship with the financial institutions to really prepare yourself. I think that's part of entrepreneurship, yung financing. Napakalaking part actually ng management, yung finance part. Actually, yan pinoproblema yan ni Reese, di ba? So, sa inyo. So I think magandang panahon na talaga ito na simulan yan. No? So like for us, even if sa banks and we have existing loans and we are saying na we're shifting na nga towards equity, ang pagpupunta ka sa capital markets kasi at equity sa pag-uusapan, ang mga brokers pa rin naman yan, mga investment banks at usually mga banks pa rin ang kakausapin. So the earliest time that you have to establish your relationship with the banks and financial institutions is as soon as you register your business. So ganun dapat ka-close yung relationship mo with the financiers.
Start with the bank account.
Oo. And one thing I took away from some of your earlier points, diba? Kasi minsan, when you were talking about restructuring loans, diba, and all that, is sometimes we're just afraid to ask. Kasi nakakahiya naman, pero actually it's your right as a consumer, it's your right as a client, 'di ba? So one point
it came at the surprise kasi when we were doing our financial projection. So last week natapos namin siya. Sabi ko, okay, mukhang 5 years yung i-ask natin na restructuring. Pero I was so surprised, yung available sa land bank ay 10 years yung binibigay. Tapos 3 years na grace period. So sabi ko, wow, this is more than what we're asking for. So
maraming lalapit sa'yo.
At least we see the government financial institutions doing something about this. No? So yun.
And that's even at 5% yata, Vince, no?
Yes. Oo. Wow. Pero mas mataas yun kasi at kami ngayon 3.5 to 4 lang kami. So ang dapat ayun pa rin, no, yung rate namin kasi we've been banking with them naman for the past decade. So relationship talaga yung kailangan na ayusin with the financial institutions.
Yeah, and Mon also pointed it out earlier, diba, na you have to face your fear. Don't be scared kasi if you ask, if you find out, put your affairs in order, it's going to be easier. Pero is it okay? I will ask a question from the audience.
since we're also running short on time, I want to make sure that this gets asked. So this is from Rona de la Peña. Hi, Rona. So sabi niya, hello, I'm a freelance theater actor and events manager. And of course, all the productions and events were canceled because of the pandemic. And most likely, they will not resume or happen anytime soon. So even before the ECQ daw, she and her husband had been selling smoked meat and honey as a sideline. So ito, how can we
Nines na putol yata.
It's okay. So, ako yung sasalo ng
Sige,
question.
ulit yung tanong.
Yes. So, ang
how can
tanong,
we migrate, sabi niya.
how can we migrate our sideline to our major source of income given the situation? Ayan.
So,
Paano daw? Pivot. Ang laki ng pivot na to. Mula sa
theater
to entrepreneurship. So I think it's and it's food also. So if you have any tips on that, how they can start, where they can get their funding, how can they yes.
Sige, let me answer lang with the due indulgence of Vince and Mon. No? Let me just plug also that the DTI, or the Department of Trade and Industry, has a program called the Reboot Package. Okay, so you can search it on Facebook. The Reboot Package is actually very good. No, this is where this is an initiative of ASEC Jean Pacheco. No? She's the one in charge of the Reboot Package. We're slowly gathering all the e-commerce platforms, no? Sina Paymaya, GCash, Lazada, Shopee, and everyone, QuadX, no? Everyone's there. Nandoon sila. And they're offering now kumbaga a lot of trainings and a lot of lectures. Si Google nandoon, and everyone na tinuturo nila how do you get digital, how do you go digital, how do you go online, how do you sell online. So nandyan lahat. They have a lot of webinars, progressive, no, for basic, for advanced, for intermediate. Meron silang webinars dyan. And I think you'll learn a lot if you'd want to like smoke meat and honey. If you can find a good if you're preparing a good meat and smoked meat and honey na food, you can definitely find a market there digitally, no. And then I think that's the time is right. The time is right for you to go and explore digital. So yun, if you need naman siguro additional funds, kung wala ka pang 1 year na nagnenegosyo, unfortunately, siguro what I would suggest is go small scale muna. Konti lang muna. But sabi nga ng ibang platforms, they don't need volume right now. So you don't have to come up with a volume. So kasi kung iniisip mo, do I need a volume? Do I need a volume of sales? Ano ang mode of payment ko? They'll provide you with the right tool, no, and the right skills to start that business.
Yeah. Susugan ko lang yung sinabi ni Frank na to start small. So gaya ng sabi ko kanina, go slow and accept the slow pace nga of the recovery. Tapos ang gawin yung isa sa mga nakita ko na ginagawa ng mga online sellers that I frequently interact with. The temptation is to list with yung mga platforms na nagsesell, tapos a third party that would deliver your products and they would market. Pero with the small operations like you, ang isa na nakita namin na effective is to instead na kumuha ka pa ng third party, you create your Facebook page muna, sell there, and then ang ginawa ng mga kakilala ko ay yung mga na disenfranchised from what's that nga yung motorsiklo na nag-deliver angkas. So yun, kinontak nila yun, tapos sila yung nagde-deliver ng mga products and services at mas maganda yung profit sharing kasi wala ng third party. And I'm assuming na maliit kasi yung operations so hindi mo pa kailangan siguro ganun kalaking marketing for that.
Okay, ang dami nating tips. Yes, go ahead.
Si Riz din yata.
I guess another din kasi coming from what Sir Vince mentioned, localized na ngayon ang karamihan sa mga products natin. People are looking for more local sources. So if you look at Viber marketplaces in different villages, you can also start selling there. Where do you live? Who are your neighbors? Sell to them para itcha mo na lang sa wall. Hindi. lakad ka na lang, tapos bigay mo, ganon. Pero I think, a lot of our entrepreneurs also, the ones who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs, lagi yung tanong, kailangan ko ba mag-register ka agad? Mabi-BIR ba ako kaagad niyan? So I guess, baka Mon has some insights on that. Napakahalaga kasi noon, di ba?
Ako, I always say na, even if the regulation is clear that we have to register right away, I think it's also understandable to give ourselves a sort of grace period. Na once we have the idea, we start collaborating with those who are already in that industry. Then, kumbaga, try muna. Kasi most of the open cases or mga penalties sa BIR, they have the ideation stage pa lang, excited, nag-register kagad. Once they've registered, nag-away-away sila. They didn't continue. 10 years after, the penalty has multiplied exponentially. So, sana is more or less, it's already moving. Then register. Anyway, if you're not yet making money, the government is not losing any revenue. So,
wala ka pang tax payable. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, that's the reason why nung time na pinropose ni Senbam yung startup bill, I was already proposing yung similar sa Singapore na yung first 2 years or first $100,000 income, tax-free muna para we encourage everyone to be on board right away. Formal economy kagad, hindi yung nag-grow sila in the underground. Tapos hindi ayaw nang umalis kasi tax-free na eh. Ba't pa ako aalis, di ba? And this is also a reminder to those who are listening who are already registered. Do not deal with the unregistered if it's already a big transaction. If it's a small one, it's fine. Nagsisimula pa lang siya, ang tawag doon, backyard business, fine. Pero if it's growing and frequent na yung transaction, they're still not registered, not issuing receipts, send me the name. That cannot be. That's wrong.
Diba? Yung
tatanungin ka na may informal sector talaga. So and then ako naman, the way I advise it is yung ideation stage is usually for 6 months. So for 6 months, i-try out mo muna. At kapag yun nga, tama yung sabi niyo mo, kapag sizable na yung sales mo at nag-hire ka na, then that's the time that you that you register. Kasi kapag ikaw pa lang naman yung tao doon, you could actually file that as your personal income plan.
Yeah, true.
And
in
like
fact,
we said nga, we really encourage.
And baka may final point, Simon.
Yeah. In this crisis, parang it also ushers transformation and renewal. Renewal in terms of our vision, our core values, our mission, but it doesn't stop us to transform or to venture into something new or to explore digital platforms. Evolve. Yeah. Ako ito lang, evolved na sa akin to, I am a very primitive person. So, but diba, sabi ko nga, during this lockdown, our meetings have gone crazy, weekly, daily, online, everything. Ang tawag ko na nga dito, online sesh, sobrang dami. But we started exploring a lot of opportunities, surprisingly. So as we discuss problems, we are actually digging or unearthing a lot of opportunities. And God knows, after this lockdown, we have 101 ideas to implement. Yeah. Let's do this.
Actually, ang ganda this has been a very encouraging panel because, what you're saying, what we're hearing from Mon is, if you have an idea, start. Wag mo munang isipin yung registration, di ba, all the legalities. Just try it out first. And Vince was saying na, go slow because things are really going to be slow anyway, in the near future. And Frank was saying na once we reopen, there are government lifelines that we might not have explored before. So kailangan lang po siguro natin ng lakas ng loob right now. The word that came out also was reboot, renewal. So use this time then to ideate, and muster the courage. So unfortunately, we will have to wrap up because we know that.
Wait.
Oh yes, sorry.
Mahabol pa.
Yes, go.
I owe it to the big brothers and to the mentors that I've met in the course of this entrepreneurship journey. Sana tayong medyo established na, we be more accommodating and helpful to the small ones or those who are starting. Yes. What I'm saying is, hindi pa siya registered, employed siya, but may skill siya, he has potential. We give them the chance. Let's not create barriers and be bureaucratic ourselves. Kasi baka mamaya, collaboration is becoming a theory. Ako lagi ko sinasabi even in the office, especially now that we are locked down, the more that we have to use our imagination and collaborate whoever. I mean, you don't need to be best friend or schoolmate of Vince to collaborate with Vince. The same way you don't need to
Who will
be
make push up?
Totoo.
diba? Or colleague of Sir Frank to reach out to Sir Frank. All of us are in social media. I mean, let's do it. Hindi yung puro showbiz, chismis lang pinag-usapan natin. Dapat yan ang pinag-usapan. Bye.
Piso. Piso.
But thank you so much. We know that Mon has to go also. Thank you. Ang ganda talaga ng mga tips. So, we wish we could share more. May nagtatanong po ng guidelines when it comes to BIR related topics, when it comes to starting a business. Is that something you can share with us, Mon, para we can also share with the rest of our audience?
Well, just briefly lang, before you register to BIR, you really have to have a framework. Are you trying to start a business as a corporation or as a sole proprietor? Are you starting a business that will just have one activity or multiple or diverse? Kasi yung taxation yan iba-iba. Do not go to BIR with the form with and clueless and let the examiner check all the tax types. That's the end of you. You have to be prepared. Do your assignment. Don't run away from BIR, but don't get excited. BIR is not excited to meet you. Okay? Go there when you're ready. Okay? Please download our mobile app. It's free. Okay?
Yes.
And I will chat with you. Bye, guys. I need to go to the other side of the...
Your board meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, James is giving his opening number na. Bye-bye.
Opening number.
Oh, diba? Thank you
Bye,
so
Mon.
much
Thank
for your
you.
time, Mon.
Wrap it up na din for
So we will
business.
wrap it up. For our audience, we will post follow-up information on our Facebook page and on the Telegram channel kasi ang daming tips and practical information that was shared today. So we will ask our team to please flash lang just some takeaways, and we encourage our team to, our audience to please take notes or take pictures. Meron ba tayong wrap-up slides? And for those who are new to the series, please continue to follow us and know that next Friday magkakaroon ng isa pang webinar. So here, just to wrap up. So Vince mentioned earlier, we all have to accept that recovery after the ECQ will be slow. Consider mobilizing investors rather than relying on loans when thinking about how to raise funds to restart your business. Now, during the lockdown, and some of them have mentioned this, gather all the documents, double check your taxes that you haven't paid, plan everything ahead, and be more proactive instead of waiting for the deadline. I think Mon also shared, some of the deadlines and the guidelines. We'll also share that summary that he shared kanina. So do not fear BIR. Sabi nga niya, as long as you have the proper documentation, you have nothing to fear. Ito naman. So if you're going to secure a loan, look at how much you need to borrow and research who you can borrow from. There are more options than you think. Diba? And, okay, medyo po to. Imagine how your business will run during the new normal. And maganda rin yung term ni Frank, the next normal, diba? It's an it could be a time for looking at what's next, diba? What new thing or what now? What adjustments will we need to make? And what adjustments you'll have to prepare for. Do we have another slide? Okay.
I think that's...
Okay. Parang, so I think those are the slides.
No?
Ayan. Ito. So, this is the iwas buwisit. What to do when tax attacks. O, diba? And the TaxWiz app. So, it's always very, very entertaining when Mon Abrea is in the panel. So, please follow. Ito, take a screenshot na lang and follow Mon's different sites here and social media channels so that you can also get more information.
Let's post na lang Nines in our...
Yes, oo. So, lahat ng mga to, lahat ng shinare ng panelists natin, we will reshare. Now, here's some good news for MSMEs. The Phil Guarantee Governing Board approved a credit guarantee program to support a 12 billion peso in working capital loans to micro, small, and medium enterprises. So an MSME borrower can loan as much as 50 million with special rate for applications received up to December 2020.
Yeah,
so
sayang lang hindi nakasama si Sir Cesar today. So maybe we can have part 2.
Bitin talaga yung discussion So baka nga kailangan ng part 2. So we encourage you to scan this QR and we will also repost this again on the Facebook page and on our Telegram channel. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so as always, we will ask for your feedback. We really do our best to improve with each webinar. So please scan the QR or type the short code on your screen and please share with us your feedback. Okay, and next slide. This is also a very useful tool for SMEs. So if you're on Telegram, we encourage you to please join Telegram. You can also join our Telegram group. So Jan, we share a lot of updates, mga announcements. We also even share, since Frank mentioned, diba, keep on learning and attend webinars. We also share schedules of webinars. So anything and everything that we can share
other groups, yeah.
From other groups, diba, to really support SMEs, we post it there. And okay, ito na ba yung for
the next one.
So next week, so since nabanggit ni Frank, diba, right now the call is really, let's digitize the businesses, shift to e-commerce. Ang kakabit niyan, since we're going digital, we will now be facing data privacy, cybersecurity. So, ibang universe yan. And we will use next week's webinar to talk about data privacy and cybersecurity. So, whether you're already an SME that already has an online presence, or you're just starting to think about it, or you're more advanced na and you really want to dive into data privacy and cybersecurity, we really encourage you to join us. So, please sign up through this QR or the short link. We are going to have a really good panel and resource persons in the event. And this webinar will be co-presented by one of our partner startups, Saffron. So we're very excited for this. And marami pang i-share si Unawa dyan in the future. And so, ito din, we did touch on some of these topics today. So if you're interested in transitioning from unemployment to entrepreneurship, please join us on May 22. Ito baka nga pwedeng mag-re-guest ulit yung iba nating panelists.
Baka ito na yung part 2 natin.
There's so much to tackle here, diba? And we of course want to also be able to continue to help out some of our sectors that were heavily affected. So the travel, hospitality, and leisure segments, we will have a webinar for you on May 29. So please save these dates and please stay tuned to Unawa's Facebook page and our social media channels. So eto na po, we've come to the end. So thank you very much to everybody of Frank, Vince, nakapagpaalam na Sinon. Thank you to Reese for being our co-moderator. And of course, Attorney Mona, siya na talagang our cheerleader for SMEs. And thank you to our audience. We know that we started an hour earlier this week, but we're grateful for your time. And we look forward to continue to seeing you.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Sir Frank.
Thank you
so
everybody.
much, Sir Vince. Thanks, Sir Frank.
Ingat kayo.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye.